So it costs nothing to tell your girlfriend, your wife, what you are doing next, what you want to do, where you are, especially when you are in a long distance relationship. How did you really feel? Like, what was actually going through your mind when I said I was leaving? Looking at we just been married for 2 months or so or less, and I'm going to my country. You didn't know me anywhere. You just knew me from China, and I'm going back to my country. You don't know anyone from my country. You don't even know where I live in my country.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind?
I mean, at that time, nothing was going through my mind. Like to say something is going to happen, something bad, or maybe you are married. I had a few people telling me that, girl, are you sure he's not married back home? I like to conserve, and I'm always thinking about financial aspects, So I know that my husband buys data in Ghana. You used to say you buy the data.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, but babe, you're calling me on video call all the time. It will finish your data really fast. So maybe you can text me and then you just call me on video call like at night, But he wouldn't listen to me. He would just call. He'd be in the church. Oh, babe, I'm in the church. And I'd be like, babe, I can't even hear you. And he's like, oh, babe, but I just want to see your face. It's so sweet.
One thing that helped us was we planning to come back again. There are some long distance relationships where they don't know when they're going to see each other again. They don't know
when it will end.
It is it's kind of indefinite. I think long distance relationships shouldn't be indefinite. It ceases to be long distance, then it becomes something else.
Yeah.
Long distance relationship means that you guys are apart for a while, and you guys know exactly the period where you get back together.
And for us, it was meant to be 1 year. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Rich and Anna. In today's episode, we'll be talking to you guys about our long distance relationship, how we managed it, some of the challenges we faced, and how we moved forward from there.
So if you are currently in a long distance relationship, or even if you are not in one, you can just go ahead and have a look at this video. Maybe someday in the future, it would be beneficial to you. Stay tuned as we discuss some very important points in this video.
It was pretty sad for me because we got married and my husband left. Our marriage was around June. Well, it was June. That's when we had the online service and stuff with our family. And my husband left China August. It was such an emotional day. It came so short notice too, because at first he was planning on staying. We were planning for him to stay. And sometimes situations don't allow you to do what you want to do or what you plan to do. And so he had to leave. You remember that day?
Yeah, I remember after having lunch at Beatsburg.
Yeah.
I could see all of the emotions on your face, but it was a bold step because I had a business plan that I wanted to go put together in Ghana, but the business still didn't go on,
Yeah.
Yes. But anyways, we took the initiative, and I'm very glad that I went to Ghana actually to look at the business terrain, So myself going to Ghana, because of what I was going to do in Ghana, even though I was worried about my wife, I was worried about, we got married like just 2 months. I left China where we were staying to Ghana. I was really worried, but I was also thinking of what I was going to do in Ghana and the benefits that it would bring for us. Do you get it? And I think my wife also understood it from that angle. That was what was able to keep her.
To be honest, guys,
for that period of time.
To be honest, guys, I was struggling to understand it. I was struggling because sometimes I'm caught between, life is a trap and we're basically just working and setting up businesses and trying to make money, but at the end of it all, we're just gonna die.
Yeah, but all of this, sometimes life is a trap, but you just need to manage a trap. We have to manage a trap. Otherwise, we would get trapped in the name of not being trapped. Because truly, we need finances to be able to have a very, very strong family. Most of the things that we do in this world needs money, needs finances. Therefore, it's expedient that we put in certain plans that could help us. But what is sad is you working till you get so old. You know, that is not cool. But the good thing is that you working and retiring early, then you can enjoy yourself. But you not putting in efforts, or you not planning ahead in the name of not getting trapped by this life, you might end up getting trapped.
I get you.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, he left 2 months after, and I was really sad. He was sad too, but I think we show our emotions differently. Because for one, I don't know if you remember, we bought a suit. We bought a suit and a wedding dress because we had intended to go take pictures. And the day you left, they were delivered.
No, the day. Yeah.
The day he left, this day, and they were delivered this day. Until now, it's still here packaged, because I was like, oh my God. Like, it was a lot. At that time too, I was changing jobs, changing cities.
Yeah.
And I had to do all that by myself.
I think that was one of the things that, you know, made you so burdened. Like, it's exactly, like, especially your job, you know, changing jobs, moving from city to city, packing stuff, you know, not knowing what is going to happen in the next city, you being alone and all that.
Yeah.
It also added to the emotions. Yeah. But how did you really feel? Like, what was actually going through your mind when I said I was leaving? Looking at we just been married for 2 months or so or less, and I'm going to my country. You didn't know me anywhere. You just knew me from China, and I'm going back to my country. You don't know anyone from my country. You don't even know where I live in my country.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind?
I mean, at that time, nothing was going through my mind. Like to say something is going to happen, something bad, or maybe you are married. I had a few people telling me that, girl, are you sure he's not married back home?
Really?
Yeah. A few people said that to me.
Really?
Yeah, like, oh my God, this guy is married back home. He has kids.
Who said that?
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, guys, so a few people did say that to me, and they were like, why do you trust him so much? How do you know he's not going home to sleep around and stuff like that? I also had conversations like that with people. But I know him. You know, I know the guy who I fell for and who I married, who I chose. I know the guy. So I wasn't worried to say, oh, he's going to go and be unfaithful or stray. And honestly, girls are pretty. Guys, I see girls and I look at them and be like, wow, she's pretty. So if my husband is supposed to see a girl who he thinks looks pretty and he happens to look or gaze a little, it's no big deal for me, honestly, because me, myself, will look too. I think it's okay to appreciate a woman's beauty. Like, we're all beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, but there's also some amount of boundary or a line that should not be crossed, you know. And I know him. This God-fearing man, I know him. So I wasn't feeling like you were going to do something to mess up or anything like that. I just missed you deeply.
So how were we even able to keep up with the communication, like speaking, how were we able to keep up? Because I remember, I called you every day.
Yeah.
Right? I don't remember if there was a day I didn't call you.
No.
Maybe if I didn't call you, maybe there was a problem. I don't remember.
I can't remember a day where you didn't call me. And you'd always call me on video call too. And I would be like, guys, I like to conserve, and I'm always thinking about financial aspects, you know. So I know that my husband buys data in Ghana. You used to say you buy the data.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, but babe, you're calling me on video call all the time. It will finish your data really fast. So maybe you can text me and then you just call me on video call like at night, you know. But he wouldn't listen to me. You would just call. He'd be in the church. Oh, babe, I'm in the church. And I'd be like, babe, I can't even hear you. And he's like, oh, babe, but I just want to see your face. It's so sweet. Yeah, but he definitely put the effort in. And initially, I thought that we would struggle because the time difference, it's like, what, 9 hours or so?
8 hours.
8 hours. So based on the time difference, I thought that we would struggle. So usually when I'm waking up for work, it would be nighttime in Ghana, but usually he'd stay awake wait till I get up, tell me, have a good day, how are you, and all that, before he would go to sleep. Then while I'm at work, usually when I'm about to close, that's when he would wake up.
Yeah, there was one time where an incident really made me panic. I called my wife like in the morning. Well, I think it was at dawn because I was interviewing for some schools for a master's program in China. So I had series of interviews at dawn because of the time. No, not at dawn. I was preparing at dawn to interview early in the morning. And I called my wife and she was like, "Oh, she's off to school." So I was done with the interview and I wanted to sleep like 8 a.m. in Ghana also. And I slept, and then while sleeping, I had so many missed calls on my phone, and it was my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law had not called me so many times before.
Oh.
So I picked up the phone, and she was like, when was the last time I heard from my wife? And I was like, oh, I just spoke to her this morning before going to bed. And she was like, your wife wouldn't go to school when she told you she was going to school. And I was thinking, what has happened? Has she been knocked down by a car or what?
Oh, I remember that day.
She was like, she's not picking up her call. She thinks there's something wrong, so I should find someone to call. Or I should find, and I don't know anyone who is close to my wife. I don't know anyone I could call. I don't know any groups. I started calling friends to find Jamaican groups. I was like, God, what is happening? Like, what has happened to her?
I remember that day.
You remember?
That day was very hard for me.
Yeah. So imagine if, like, I didn't communicate to her at all when this happened. It would have been worse. Because I remember me talking to her and she telling me she was okay, like she was fine, like she was healthy before the morning. So
and like 10 minutes after that, I was not.
Yeah, and I had gone to sleep already.
Yeah.
You see. So communication is very important. Like in long distance, that is one of the key things that holds long distance relationships, and that is one of the things that really helped us.
On that day that you mentioned, that's one of the days why I said I would never want to do long distance again, because on that particular day my back pulled. So I got dressed, I texted you to say I was going to work, but I sent the dogs outside, and by the time I got to the elevator my back pulled. I just could not move, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything, guys. I could not. I don't know if you guys know lumbar disc. Mine pulled, right, from an old injury that sometimes act up. But now it's better. I had to go to do therapy, back massage, and all that after the incident. That day, I was like, I'm by myself. I don't have anyone to call. Baby's not here. What am I going to do? I ended up lying in bed the whole day before I could fight to get up. And the pain was so bad.
You got someone to come to send you to.
No, I called Nelson.
Yeah, thank God there was someone.
But I couldn't call him until I was even able to get out of bed, which took me hours to do.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I also had to dress, because when I went to lie, like when you go sit on the bed, I forced to take off my pants, so I also needed to put it back on for him to come here. And it's good he even knew where I stayed at that time. Yeah, it was so bad that day.
So about those who are telling you
you're married back home.
Yeah.
Oh,
what impact did he have on you? Even though you trusted me and all that, but words have their own way of messing with the human mind. Like what was the impact? Did it change your attitude towards stuff and all that?
Nah, it didn't. Words can impact you. Someone can tell you something about a person, but how can they tell me about you? Do they know you from anywhere? They don't know you from anywhere.
Yeah, that's one of the things, especially on social media nowadays. Like everybody's marriage situation is everybody's marriage situation.
Yeah, and it's not true.
Someone's marriage situation is everybody's marriage situation. It's very popular these days. So if someone's husband did this, it means that everybody's husband would do that.
Right. And especially because we live in China, the dating pool is so small, and everyone, because they're like, oh, this is their temporary place of residence, they do all type of crazy things. So you have a lot of men here who are indeed married back home, but they still go out and be with girls and stuff like that. So people saying that to me, they're probably thinking like, oh, you're one of those guys, But I know you. I know where I met you. I know the conversations that we've had. So I trust you. And someone who I barely know can't break that just trust based on just.
No, wow,
Yeah.
that's good. It's very easy for a lot of women to hear some of these things, and sometimes they'll change their attitude. Maybe the man has left to Ghana without her not knowing what the man is doing. Her
Yeah.
attitude just changed. She becomes so like jealous, like unnecessarily, like where are you and all that, talking to you angrily because someone told her that you might probably be married. These are some of the mistakes where some women they make out of what they hear others tell them.
They self-sabotage.
Exactly. Looking at our long distance, one thing that helped us was we planning to come back again. There are some long distance relationships where they don't know when they're going to see each other again. They don't know
when it will end.
It is it's kind of indefinite. I think long distance relationships shouldn't be indefinite. It ceases to be long distance, then it becomes something else.
Yeah.
Long distance relationship means that you guys are apart for a while, and you guys know exactly the period where you get back together.
You know, and for us, it was meant to be 1 year.
Yeah, it was meant to be 1 year.
It was meant to be 1 year, but it was
we cut it
cut
short.
shorter.
Because I met a lot of challenges in Ghana, man. I had to run away from Ghana.
And he came back to China. And also, in between, I also went to Ghana.
Yeah, we went to Ghana. So there should be that effort to see each other, not like someone who has traveled abroad. You don't know when he's going to come. You don't know.
Yeah.
There's no plan of he bringing you abroad. There's no plan of he coming back. There's nothing. Just you are in long distance.
Yeah.
That one, it weakens your
relationship.
Hope. Yeah, and it weakens your relationship.
Yeah.
You become faint.
I don't know if it weakens the relationship or the relationship dynamic just changes. Like maybe the girl will become more independent because, for example, now she has to do everything. For example, you leave her here in this house and you go somewhere. Certain things that she used to depend on you to do, now she has to do it. And I don't know, maybe when you come back, the relationship would be more like, oh, let's catch up on certain things. So maybe the dynamic of the relationship would change, but maybe it's not necessarily weaker because it can even get stronger. Distance sometimes make you grow fonder of someone.
Yeah, but the distance I'm talking about is distance where there is hope to see each other again. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about distance where there's no hope. Hope. You don't know. Do you get what I mean? Like, you see, like hours like this, we did 1 year, and we knew that I could come on a spousal visa to China to come be with you, and then find a job and do other things after I get here. You get it? There was that hope. But there are some long distance relationships. There's nothing like that. It's like you are apart, I'm a party. I've just called you, you call me, and we don't know when we'll meet each other. That way, the relationship just becomes. Everybody becomes.
I think then that's different. That could not be a marriage.
There are marriages like that.
Really?
Yeah, so many.
How long would you stay apart?
Exactly. So that there should be a time where you guys want to stay apart or have to stay apart. But there are some marriages, some relationships, they don't know.
I get it.
Like they don't know. It's just like they are hope something should fall from heaven, and then there will be something, and then they meet, but they don't know exactly how.
I think that one is not good.
You get it? Yeah, there are so many of it these days. Like these days, people talk about long distance. It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are in a long distance relationship, there should be plans of meeting each other.
Yeah.
And then maybe that one excites. It brings excitement to the relationship where like you miss your partner and you know that this time I'm going to meet her. So you are so excited about it, which boosts the morale of the relationship.
And to be in a long distance relationship, your communication needs to be on point. Like you need to have matured with communicating, because I remember sometimes where maybe I would send a message to my husband or he would send a message to me and we completely misinterpret it, which could have caused arguments if it hadn't been a case where he would call me or I would call him or something. Because let's say we send a message. I don't even have an example, but I think you can remember a bit of what I'm saying. I might say something to you, and you read it wrongly. Like you read it how I didn't mean it, right? And then you're like, babe, what happened? And I'm like, why are you taking it this way? And you'd call me and I'd have to explain, or I would call you and have to explain, and vice versa. So your communication needs to be on point, because a lot of things get lost through text message. Okay, like you might say something with a certain emotion, but the other person might not read it with that emotion. Sometimes I would send a message to my husband and he would say, oh babe, your tone, and I'm like, my tone is okay, it's just how you are reading it. You get me?
Yeah, so text should be minimized, more of calls.
Yeah.
And if possible, video calls. It's also very important to maintain trust and honesty in a relationship. You have to be as transparent as possible. For example, me being in Ghana, my wife being in China, and probably like I tell her I'm going to work, and she asks me like where am I, like on the road, and I'd be like, why do you want to know why I'm on the road? Like such responses,
that would anger me.
Yeah.
Why would you ask that?
Exactly. Such responses, it costs nothing to tell her, oh, I'm here, I'm there,
doing this,
I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm here, I'm not there. You get it. These are some petty things that helps you build trust and also honesty. It doesn't mean that your wife or your girlfriend doesn't trust you. She just wants to know because of the distance. It's just like you having your eyes blinded and then you are taking a staircase. You get it? And you are on the staircase with someone, you ask the person, which staircase number am I on? And the person tells you, I don't know. Like it further blinds your mind and you don't even have the energy to continue the staircase.
Yeah, that's
You get
true.
it? But if the person tells you you are on staircase number 46, you are left with 4 more staircases and then you are done, it gives you some kind of morale to continue the staircase. That is just exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So it costs nothing to tell your girlfriend, your wife, what you are doing next, what you want to do, where you are, especially when you are in a long distance relationship. It helps you, or it helps the marriage maintain that trust and honesty. And you have to be as honest as possible. I know most men, we don't want to tell like our women like exactly everything. Sometimes you are struggling doing something, but you don't want to let her know that you're struggling. But for most of the times, you should let her know. You get it? Yeah, you should let her know that, oh, I'm struggling with this, or I'm in a tight corner, or this or that. You get it? It helps her also know how you are doing and how she would communicate with you. Otherwise, you'll be in a sad mood and she'll be so excited, and you'll be questioning yourself, why is she so excited?
Yeah.
But you have not told her what is wrong with you. You get it? Yeah. So
I feel like
these are some of the
we've
things.
been in similar situations like that.
Yeah.
And I want to add on what you just said. My husband usually, he would tell me like his plan for the day. So he'd be like, oh, today I'm going to go to that place to do XYZ. Then I'm going to go there to do XYZ. And then I'll come back and He would always tell me that. Not always, but most of the time I find that he gives me like a daily plan of what he intends to achieve. And that kind of helps me to know like, oh, maybe he's doing this now. Maybe he's finished this task and he's doing that one. And I remember even when I went to Ghana and you took me to the office, I was like, oh, so when you say you're at the office, this is where you are.
Yeah.
This is where you're sitting. I was basically understanding all of what he used to say to me. Because when he would say, oh, I'm waiting on a churchill. I just left the house, I'm waiting on a churchill. I couldn't really visualize certain things until I went there and, I saw the pathway to go take the churchill. I saw the... or like when you say, oh, I'm going around the corner to get lunch, and I went to the office and I saw the corner where you go to take lunch, and it kind of put a lot of things into perspective for me. So that's also good, the fact that I was even able to come there and break the long distance for a moment. So yeah, definitely. You touched on something else before about mood. Sometimes you might be in a mood and you're texting, but I'd be like, babe, what's wrong? And you're like, everything is okay, and but if I keep pushing you, I would find you opening up more to say, this has happened, but you don't really want to talk about it. I feel like you sometimes, men in general, not only you like to carry your certain burdens by yourself. You feel like you don't want to share it.
Because we feel like we can solve it. Like we are looking at ways to solve it ourselves. Yeah. So that is why mostly, like, I don't tell you until like I find that I am unable to. Like I have pulled all strings and I'm unable to. You get it. So we see that most of the times I tell you some stuff and it's already late.
Yeah, it's already late.
But those are even things about my business, not even like my personal life, because those times she was also part of our business. She was a business partner. She was part of our business. She was a business owner, part of the business and all that. But since she was away, I didn't want to burden her so much with like the business. There was so many trouble with the business, but I didn't tell her most of the things. So that she wouldn't be so worried. It would affect our relationship. But one thing that I wish I did, like if I had to go back, was to tell her everything, like as it happened, especially with the business. You get it, so that she would appreciate like exactly what it is, because there were so many of the things I didn't tell her. So she didn't. Sometimes she'll be like, something that happened, and she'll give me like the plan to do something, and she doesn't know that I've already done that. And it didn't work because I've not told her that I've done that. So when she says that, I'll say yes. I'll just say okay. But I've already done the idea that she was giving me. So those are some of the things. You get it? Yeah.
Yeah, and you said that it's like you said it's a part of your personal life, not necessarily or marriage, so you wouldn't want to talk about it.
No, not necessarily talk about it. If you are in a company or you're in a business and you have business partners, and there's an issue and you guys are already solving the issue. You get it? Like you have business partners who are being paid to solve the issue, or you've given your case to the police and the police is already looking for somebody. You get it? So what I have to say is maybe the police is looking for them, not like me coming to ask you again, how do we go look for him?
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yeah, but I'm referring to your mood and how these things affect your mood, because your mood also, it comes into the marriage. For example, when I go to work and I'm angry, like recently, it flows over to you. You kind of, I'm in a bad mood. You feel it. You feel the energy, So you definitely need to communicate about these things.
Exactly.
Yeah. But trust and honesty, guys. Communication, trust, and being open. You need to be very transparent with your partner. It might seem so small, the information or whatever it is might seem so minute. You're like, oh, not necessary. Just tell them. It's better to overshare than to undershare. All right? I'm telling you. Babe decided to do his master's. Like, we both decided because it was a discussion. And he's currently 2 hours away. I can call it 3 hours when you add the taxi that you have to take to the train station and so forth. So let's say 3 hours or 2.5 hours. I battled with it for a while because it's not my preference. Let me put it that way. Because really, I was hoping to leave China this year, And with the master's program, it is costing us another 2 years. And I use the word cost because that's technically what it is costing us another 2 years in China, right? But I mean, the master's program is good. It will make him more marketable, more, in a better position, more able to provide for his family and all of that, especially with the fact that our family will be growing, But I'm still at a place where we are 2 hours apart. And I mean, 2 hours is not so much like that. But the fact is, China is big. 2 hours might sound little, but it's a lot because you take the fast train, and that is even why it is 2 hours. And it's not like you can use every weekend to be like, 2 hours away, let's travel back and forth every weekend. It's not even feasible. You know, sometimes you get your little weekend and you just want to rest. So I wasn't really happy, but also happy because obviously I'm happy for him. You know, it's a great opportunity, and I really like when he's able to do things that he genuinely wants to do. And I know that the master's program is something that he really wanted to get under his belt.
You know, one thing I've come to realize is that, you know, long distance is burdensome on both parties, but both parties could actually be happy about certain long distances. It depends on the outcome of the long distance in the long run. For example, if I'm to travel somewhere, I don't know which example to use. If I'm to travel somewhere, you know, let's say I'm going somewhere, I'm going to do a very huge task that is bringing me $1 million at the end of the month. To support my family, for us to go on vacation, to buy a house for us, to buy a car for my wife, or something. And if my wife knows about this, even though it's long distance, but when she thinks about the outcome, she's much more encouraged and like, my husband will be back in a month time with $1 million. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. It's gonna help us. We're gonna do that. You know.
And that was the only reason why I'm able to get behind the master's program, because I know that in the long run it will serve us.
Exactly. So I'm just trying to make a point here. So if the master's program, if your partner doesn't understand the essence of the long distance, she might never be able to see the need. You know, she would just think that you just want to go away. You know, so you being able to explain the benefits of the long distance to your partner, it's one thing that could help for he or she to be able to manage. Because if you are going away and she doesn't understand why you are going away, she doesn't think there's any need, she doesn't think it's important, she in the long run should get tired. You get it? Yeah. So if you let her know the outcome of it, if it is beneficial to both of you, even though she'll get tired sometimes, she would always be encouraged by the outcome that the long distance relationship would bring. If your husband travels to America and he tells you, in the next 6 months I'm going to file for you and bring you even though it's long distance, you're like, oh, I'm going to go to America, I'm going to be an American citizen, I'm going to get citizenship, I'm going to live here, you know. So it brings encouragement. You get it? And another thing is that you being able to support each other's independence. For example, my wife loves to paint sometimes. She loves to go to the gym. And I know that if I'm not here, she would want to do those things. So when I give her a call, I ask her, have you been to the gym? Have you colored today? What did you color? Just to support her independence. You know, my wife doesn't like making so much friends. I tell her to make friends. At least get a friend. You go traveling with your friend. You know, go walking with your friend. That way, it keeps you occupied sometimes, and it doesn't leave you like emotionally bankrupt.
Guys,
you get it?
My husband thinks I don't like making friends, but that's not true. It's not true. Our city is small. There are no foreigners here. We have very few foreigners, and I've just not been able to connect with them. There's one foreigner at my school, one that I met close to where we usually stay, and this guy that I met when I first came here. But it's not that I don't like to make friends. It's just that there's no one in this city to be friends with.
With all the Chinese people you come
the Chinese people, I mean, there's a teacher at my school that I would consider my friend, and also Nelson. So those are two Chinese friends then. But I'm not gonna waste my time to make friends with someone who...
Which one? Who's the someone? You know, there are so many, you know, sometimes you think people are a certain way, but until you get very close,
Babe,
I don't know.
If someone shows you their colors, if someone shows...
But not everyone in this city has shown you their colors.
Babe, I'm talking about foreign friends. Foreigners. In our city, we only have 3 foreigners that I know of.
Okay, me actually, most of my friends are Chinese because Chinese are more than foreigners in China. So in a ratio, you can make more Chinese friends than foreign friends. You get it? Yeah, that's how I see friends. If I find someone who is friendly, I'm also friendly. We can just be acquaintances for a while and then grow into friendship. share each other's, share ideas and go to places together and all that. That is how I make friends. I don't make friends like based on foreigner or whatever and all that. If I
But
find
I
a Chinese,
also don't make friends that way. That's how I even am friends with Nelson.
yeah. So Nelson and more. I know you've made friends with Nelson. That is good. But Nelson and more, you get it. There's someone in your school, the teacher in your school, you're talking about. Let's just cut this friendship thing. But
I thank you.
You just don't want to agree. But that is what I have observed.
Okay, that's
And
your
what I'm saying is that
observation.
you should. I encourage you to be friends with other people, so that you don't tend to be alone most of the time. You think that I'm okay. I'm a champion of being alone, but it becomes burden. Like it becomes so much sometimes, rather than just taking the phone and calling like a friend. Can we go for a walk? Can we do this one? Yeah, than just always waiting for them to call you instead. Because if they don't call you, then they are not interested.
But I'm not waiting for anyone to call me. Like who? I'm not.
Yeah,
waiting.
baby. I'm saying that those things help. If you take the initiative, it helps you sometimes.
Okay.
And I'm telling people, like if you have a partner who's in long distance, you should encourage them to be in, friendships that are healthy. You get it.
I like how you say friendships that are healthy. I like that.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that as at now, I've only secured one person who I can say, okay, this is healthy. Guys, there is something important that we didn't talk about, and it's the sexual aspect of long distance.
Sexual.
Yeah.
Is there any sex in long distance? Like who has sex in long distance?
Guys, there is a sexual component of long distance, whether you want to believe it or not. You need to keep things alive and keep things spicy. Remember, you guys are far apart, and sexually, you'll miss your partner.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah, sexually, you'll miss your partner. So, you guys need to find ways where you could, entertain each other, maybe texting, something.
So, what were some of the ways
sweet.
where you were entertaining me?
I was entertaining you. Guys, listen.
What were some of the ways? Tell me.
What
are some of the ways? Share with us.
Share what?
Some of the ways where you are.
This is between me and you. You guys go and develop your own interesting way to keep the spice. Guys, my husband and I we shower together. I can say that, right? On the internet.
Yeah, we shower together.
Yeah, so usually we shower together. So, for example, when he was in Ghana, it was something that we would occasionally do. Like, for example, the weekends, because, time difference and all. So, sometimes we would still do it, but we would do it on video call. So, he'd be showering with his camera somewhere, and I'd be showering with my camera somewhere.
Oh, yeah, I even forgot we did
You forgot, yeah. So, we tried our very best to not let things die out. Because you can't say, oh, he's far apart, so we're not gonna be doing certain things, or no.
So based on our conversation, you would get to know that even though we didn't point out point by point, you would have a lot of things that could help in long distance relationships, like communicating openly with your partner, supporting your partner's independence, doing things that could spice up a relationship even though you are apart, and then also making sure to let your partner know the essence of the long distance, why you guys are apart, so that he or she, based on the outcome, could have hope. Okay, and then also you should have a plan on when you guys are going to come back together. Because you can't have an indefinite long distance, then I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It goes from long distance to something else. If there's no period where you guys are going to come together, or occasionally you guys are going to meet. Baby, do you have anything to say to conclude?
I just wanted to add, in the long distance as well, just make sure that you have contact information for people around your partner, just in case of anything. Like there might be an emergency, you can't reach her, you can't reach him, so you could have that person's contact to call them if anything.
All right, thank you so much, guys, for watching. This is Rich and Anna. See you next time.
Bye.